Alrighty, today's job is some of the rear compartments interior panels, just to cover up some unsightly wires and bodywork. I don't need to see this. I've done a couple of panels already. That one and that passenger side panel was done a while ago. This was done a while ago as well. So I'm just basically putting everything kind of in place. I'm not doing them up too tight, because they will have to come apart again at some point. But I'm just working out a quick plan and idea of getting these together. I've just installed this little retaining piece of steel here that clamps the side panel onto the body from the top. I'm just about to install the top one, which is here. So I gave these a quick spray and the paint has dried kind of half sticky, so I'm gonna have to redo those. That only takes a little while. I'm going to install them anyway and I'll pop them off when I could be bothered. So what I've had to do, as the original little tiny holes that are in the bodywork, they were way too small and I didn't have the right pins, and I went and bought myself some of these little push-in body panels pin things. So I've got a couple of them kicking around and I've just opened up the holes big enough so that they will pop into place. So I'm just going to install all these on, and once that's done, I'm going to get on to making my own rear panel for the back, similar to what I've done here. I don't know what I'm going to cover it in yet. I'd like to cover it in vinyl just because it will match. But at least I'm going to get the template done, and I've got to work out how I'm going to mount it to the back here. There's some screws there which I'm pretty sure are designed to hold the back panel in. A couple little points back there. So we'll get to it and see what it looks like at the end of the day. Okay, so they look like crap at the moment because, like I said, sticky paint. But I'll hit them again, get that to dry. So that's pretty much the back panels in. I'm not going to run any speakers in the back of the car because, maybe I will. I don't know. But for now, I'm definitely not. I couldn't be bothered. 2 speakers in the front will do for me. Maybe 2 speakers in the front and a small sub in the back. That's probably all it's going to have. More than enough sound. So now I've got to work out how I'm going to get this rear end covered. I do have the original plastics. They're out beside the house. But they are wrecked. They are absolutely wrecked. So, yeah, I'm not going to use them. I'm hoping, my plan, we all know how good plans go, is to access the lights from the back of the panel. So I've got to work out how I'm going to cut open the back panel and maybe make a removable piece so I can access changing the light globes without taking the whole piece off. Let's see. So a quick measurement. I've got 127 centimeters worth of room from the edge of that panel to the edge of this panel. But it needs to sink back more. So, well, 127 is the measurement with the panel theoretically sunk back. It's 124 if I was just to do a straight piece. But if I do a straight piece, it's going to be out here somewhere. And that's not going to cut it. So what I might do is have a piece up to maybe this corner here, that corner at 124-ish, and then I might just make a little insert that fills up that gap, because I do need the access to these lights on a flat panel. I've got 30 centimeters of depth, will definitely give me enough room, because down here there's going to be a big board that sits right across this and sits in flush with these wheel arch covers, so this is going to completely sit about yay high on there. So realistically that there's only around 20 centimeters from there to there, and then another 10 centimeters to the bottom, so it'll hang down a little bit, but that is okay. I got plenty of this timber board stuff, so I'm going to start cutting and see what I can do. Done! Look at that, like a glove. Alright, well that's me done for the day. Nah, just joking. It's a real pain in the butt having this as my hatch holder, so I'm going to try and chuck this up somewhere else so I can work in here. That'll do. So like I was saying, it's pretty much the perfect size width-wise until... Well, yeah, it's perfect size width-wise and it's butting right up against the sides there. But I've got this massive gap here and it's not good. So I can't really just simply move it back because the metal in the car actually curves inwards. So I would like to just have it on maybe a kind of half rounded angle, but then that still leaves me a gap at that side and at this side. So I am going to have this flush against the back somehow, and I will have to maybe attach something to the ends of this cardboard or this plywood stuff just to kind of fill that gap. I might make it so it kind of tucks in behind that original panel there as well. That way there's less mounting needed to be done. And it doesn't have to sit directly on the ground either. Like I said, it doesn't matter about the bottom. This can be lifted right up. It has to come up to pretty much this level here. So there might be a little bit of trimming for the rear hatch lock. But yeah, I'm just going to put the phone down and play around with it and see what I can do, because it's hard to record and work. I need two hands for this. Alright, so a quick explanation as to why I was banging my metal. So I got the first piece in there and I've just had to cut out, spaces for the lock. I've drilled into those two mounts that were down there, so that's all in place pretty well. And that covers the whole tail section. I will cut out some area here for access to the globes and work out how I will attach them. It'll probably just be body pins, plastic body pins. It's probably what I'm going to use. I don't think it needs to be anything more than that. I'll just put a slightly bigger panel over the hole, and I'll have the outside of the panel just pop into some exposed cardboard to cover that up, and that'll work. I just got to make some little gap pieces for there and there. But yeah, basically these metal pieces that are hanging off the back of the tail section here, I just kind of folded them over a little bit to lock in this panel. So when I want to take the panel out, I'll undo the screws. That bottom section will come forward. That'll make the panel fall downwards and release from here. If I really wanted to, I could put a screw here just because that screw did fold over onto the panel, so that's helpful. And this goes really nice and flush with the rubber weather strip that's going to go around it. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. It's going to work quite well. Now I've got to get onto the side bits and work out what I'm going to do there. A little bit more, it's going to be a bit more tricky to get those corner bits done, but you know, there's no harm in trying. Yeah, so basically there's the little side bit in place. I got some mounting points there. When it's covered in vinyl, it's going to lay nicely over the top. I don't think it's going to look that bad. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll find out. I just, obviously, before I'm finished with all this, I'm going to be painting, you know, all these little pieces black as well. I'll sand them down and give them a spray black. That'll all be nice and neat and black and new looking. And then the bottom looks messy because it doesn't really matter. There's going to be a board up this high going right across the base of the inside here to cover up the spare wheel, and that's going to go up to around there. I'm going to make it because I do want to keep a spare wheel in here. I don't want it to be some kind of big subwoofer car, but I'm kind of happy with those. I'm happy they're all kind of lined up good enough. So I am going to cover these with what fabric I have available at the moment, which is Alcantara. I know I said vinyl, but it's what I got. I'm going to use it. If I do come across the original parts for this car, for the tail section, the interior panels, I'll buy them and I'll put them in it. But for now, this definitely gets me out of trouble. It's not going to be a perfect job, but it'll get it to the point where, you know, it'll be registered without a problem. So I'm just going to get my Alcantara, cut some pieces up, and get them in the car. The reason I didn't glue the face of where this was sitting was, given these panels are going to have a little bit of flex to them, I stretched the material around to the back so that if I were to glue the face and then I put the material on, there's a chance, number one, that I could put the material on and actually glue a wrinkle into it, and then I'm not going to be, if there's a wrinkle in the middle there, I'm not going to be able to lift up this material to get that out. So leaving this part unglued is allowing the material to do what it wants and sit, because it's a stretchy fabric, it's just going to stretch out for me. So even if the unit twists a little bit like this, there's no wrinkles showing up because the material is allowed to move. So I prefer to do it that way. It's come up really good. It'll look good when it's in as well. I just got to find those two little holes that I put to mount it to the bodywork. But basically, yeah, they'll look alright. I've got to do this one now. Alright, now I didn't also need to get these corners that perfect because they're going to be pushing up and crimped underneath those little metal panels that are poking out from the back of the car anyway. So they can stay like that. I'll just finish off this final piece, but that is looking spiffy, and even with a little bit of flex on it like this, there's zero wrinkles, so it's going to work well. I left this material piece here in this gap because I actually wanted to cover the bolts. So that turned out okay, actually. Happy with that. It's kind of like a little pocket that fits over it. I'll do these two side pieces. Oh, and as far as accessing the lights is concerned, I thought I'm going to skip doing a cutout to access the lights because it's so easy just to take two pins out, remove the whole panel because it'll just pop into place, and access my lights, my number plate light, reverse light, all that kind of stuff. I can just, all the wiring, this whole segment will just come out with two screws. Or when I change them, I'll be changing them to those little push studs. But I think it's going to look really, really neat, just one solid panel. We'll see. Okie diddly. So that is in place. And I think it looks pretty good, a lot better than it not being there. I know that it doesn't really match vinyl and suede, but as a temporary panel, it's awesome. I'll go through here and I'll paint these black, gloss black, so that they'll fit. Well, anyway, as I was saying, my light just went off because my battery power is low. So yeah, I'm going to paint those black there and there, and also this whole lock joint thing will be black. That way it'll be completely hidden from the back. I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't chop these off because, like I said, if I do find the original panels somewhere in okay condition, even if I have to cover them again, I'm going to keep these here so I can use them as the original bolt bits. But yeah, I'm thinking that's a heck of a lot better than what it used to look like. And that's one more thing on my list. Done. I have to go to Clark Rubber and buy a new boot seal. These are hard to get. The last Ra28 I went to Clark Rubber and bought something very similar to this, and it worked perfectly fine, so I'll do that again. For now, I think that's going to do me. It is enough work being done this weekend. Got the taillights sealed up, got the panels in place, and I also got my fuse box sorted out, which is really good. that'll do me, I think. We'll see what we're going to do next week. Thank you very much. Till next time.